Hello and welcome to my channel Elena Yoga. I'm Elena and today we are doing some yoga for the hands, the fingers and the wrists. So if you have some wrist pain, this is a great way to stretch your wrists and to strengthen them as well. So we'll begin by extending our spine and just sitting very tall. Shoulders are down and we'll make fists. Extending the arms to the front and just rotating your fists into one direction. And then change directions. So this is just to warm them up a little bit. And then release. Again, make your fists and extend your arms to the front, pointing your fists down. So really stretching the upper side of your forearm. Making your fists really tight. And then rotate your palms so that your fists are coming down and the front side of your forearm is pointing up. Your palms are pointing to the front. Just stretching the inner part of our forearms. Then rotate again, the fists down. And then change direction just a few times to do this full rotation. And then release. And from here, extend your arms, pointing your fingers really wide. So all the fingers are as far as they can from each other. And try to keep a 90-degree angle at your wrist if you can. So palms are facing forward, fingers up. And just take a few breaths here. And then rotate your arms so that your fingers are pointing down to the mat. Stretching again the upper part of the forearm. Breathe here. Really engage your arms and spread your fingers wide. And then release. Release the hands a little bit. And now we are going to extend them in the same way, so fingertips pointing down. And take your left hand and grab your pinky finger of the right hand and just stretch it down to the ground. Then take your ring finger, stretch it down. Then the middle finger. Then the next one. And finally your thumb. Really stretch it down to the mat. Gently. And then release your arms. And then take your left hand to the front. And with the right hand, extend your pinky to the ground. So fingers are pointing down to the mat. Then the ring finger, very gently. Then the middle one. Stay for one breath for each finger. And then the next finger. And finally the thumb. And then release your hands. Then take the palms of your hands together, really press them so that all the knuckles are pressing into each other. And take your hands in front of your heart, like you're doing Namaste. Just engaging your arms, your hands, your palms and the fingers and pressing against each other. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And then rotate so that your fingertips are pointing to the ground. And again, pressing all of your knuckles together, the palms of your hands, the whole surface of the hands. One more breath. And then release your hands and come to a four-legged position. Pointing your fingers forward, engage your core and just wiggle to the front and to the back. Feeling this stretch in your forearms. And then take your fingertips to point back towards you. And again, go forward and back very gently. When you go back, you will feel a really deep stretch at the front side of your forearms. Pressing the fingers, the palms into the ground, really pressing them down and extending your fingers. And then rotate your fingers so that they point out to the sides of your mat. And then go from the left to the right. Just making sure your body weight is transferred to one hand and then to the other one. And then take your fingers pointing to the front again. And from here, flip the palms so that your palm is pointing up. This is a really deep stretch, so only do it if you don't feel too much pain. This stretches the upper part of the forearms. And then very gently go back and forth, maybe just a centimeter. And then flip your palms again. If this is too much pain, you can try one by one. So flipping only one hand and going back and forth. And then flipping the other hand and going back and front to the front. And from here, leave your knuckles on the ground. Just take the wrist up. So the front of your knuckle stays on the ground. All of your fingers stay on the ground. It's just the wrist that we take up and down. Up and down. One more time. And then release. And then come to a seated position again. So you can be on your heels or cross-legged as you prefer. And then we're going to do some really dynamic opening of the fingers and the whole wrist. So make your fists, making sure your thumbs are inside of your fingers. Extend your arms. And then from your fists, open your fingers as wide as you can and close. Open, close. Open, close. Really do this energetically. You can also involve the elbows, as if you want to splash someone with water. Really, when you extend your fingers. And when you come to a fist, take your thumb inside. Do it faster and faster. And then release. And as a last thing, we're gonna stretch the arms to the side and make fists. Fists pointing down, and just stay here. So your arms are parallel to the mat. And then rotate your fists to the other side. The inner part of your arm is pointing up. And then rotate your fists down again. And then change directions. Just do this rotation, opening and closing of the forearms. Really engaging your fists and your forearms. And then release. And from here we're going to do a final pose from Ashtanga, which is really nice to open and massage the wrists. So come to your standing forward fold. You can bend the knees if you want, if you have tight hamstrings. And then take your palms. You can bend the knees as much as you can so that you can place your palms under your feet. So this is hastasana. Really place the whole hand under your foot and transfer your weight a little bit to the front and to the back, and breathe here. So a really gentle massage for your palms. And one last breath. And then release your hands. Feel free to repeat if you want, or come down to seated. So this was our short yoga practice for the wrists, for the hands, and for the fingers. So it's really important that we spread our fingers wide in any yoga posture that we do on the wrists in order to avoid wrist pain and to engage the wrist. This is called Hasta banda in yoga, and this is like a suction cup, as if you want to take the ground with you when you take your wrists up. So you are sucking the ground away. This is really important, that there is no space, there is no hole between your wrist, between your palm and the ground when you place the palm on the ground. If there is a hole, your hand would look like this, like it's grabbing something. If there's no hole, all of your fingers will be spread wide. I hope this video was useful for you and it helped you release some wrist pain. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, enable the notifications, and I hope to see you soon again. Namaste.